Greens have won, and great here for another Roller 3 replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue allies. We have X on you red, I think. Spawning as the orange allies. We have Infa Mouse 73, I guess. Spawning as the yellow Soviet, we have Stabber. That's pretty easy to read. Spawning as the opponent as the red allies, we have Anti-Terror 32-bit. Spawning as the magenta Soviets, we have Exot bitch. Spawning as the green allies, we have Yuno, who's actually chose random. We got a Crusher Crane deployed out here, as well as an allied power plant. We also got some doggies. Doggies trying to push the engineer a little bit faster. But we've got a pair of bears there, and since the dogs are actually getting stuck on the engineer, bad bark, bad roar, good bark there, getting both the bears. And the engineer will... Oh wait, no, there's another bear there. Get a mutual trade, but no, the double team allowed it to be a dog eat bear world. Not a bear eat dog world. We've got this dog advancing forward, does spot the refineries. Big shock. Good boy. We've got a power plant here, as well as his teammate's reactor. So this guy is also receiving power from his teammates. Not necessarily receiving power, but just power plants. Looks like the bear and the dog both got a bark roar off. We've got a handful of peacekeepers here. Looks like we got 7 peacekeepers. We've got 1 dog, 1 javelin troop, and the bear does go and get gunned down. Magenta has a bear here, depending on the roar, or just get a free hit. Not even mutual trade. So great engagement there by Magenta, and grabs himself another bear. So that bear, I'm sort of surprised him getting veterancy. Yeah, those may seem awfully bare bones. Not sure. Should we have something else to point out? Going for more power plants? Blue has gone for a faster fuel, going for not even extra air. No ore refinery actually being queued up. I have no idea what he's doing. Going for straight for cryocopters. That's what he's doing. He's doing a cryocopter rush. The outer player doesn't have a whole lot there. Stingray gets a shot off on the Soul Destroyers, needs to pursue it to the ends of the Earth, which the ends of the Earth is right here. Cryocopters coming forward, gains a good freeze there onto the Prospector, and since there's 2 Cryocopters, it does quickly freeze down the stuff. He needs to cancel that flak cannon, as well as make sure the Vindicator doesn't stay around it as well. It's a frozen off, and Green's backed out of the game immediately, so Green has been forced out. Got an oil derrick here. Yellow's expanding out to the sea. And also has the naval dockyard down south. And has a Stingray rush as well. That's something usually... that's pretty rare. But going for the flak cannon. And the Soul Destroyer does go and crush those wall segments there. We got 6 Stingrays on the field. And one of the Stingrays do get crushed by the Assault Destroyer. We've got a multi-gunner IV, as well as a handful of peacekeepers now advancing forward, trying to go for barracks for some bears. And then he didn't wall up his his walls, so allow these forces to advance forward. Vindicator is coming on in. Barracks does go down. Those are not a whole bombing run there. And now we've got a multi-gunner turret there. Doesn't take out that. Takes out the multi-gunner IFV, throws in a volley there. Now the ore cook that's advancing forward, allowing some missiles there, microing his teammate's multi-gunner turret, if that makes any sort of sense. Freezing out one of the peacekeepers there, another boot camp being deployed on out. And just a large number of expansions for Yellow. Needs to pull out a sentry gun at this current rate. Super Reactor being deployed out on his teammate's base. A little bit of a vulnerable spot. Maybe could go over here. Blue's finally got this expansion point as well, and now we've got Magenta advancing forward with some various forces. Sickles, bears, bullfrogs, and a dog. Multi-gunner IFVs pushing way forward, getting some hits there onto these wall segments. Been spreading out his fire. It does throw another layer of walls there. Magenta does have some great income. Holy crap. Magenta is pushing forward with a whole bunch of refineries. So Magenta's mass expanding out. It still has access to allied technology as well. So he does have 2 MCVs. Does have a boot camp here. Needs to get out a allied engineer for repairs. It's pulling out some javelin troops as well. Get some good hits there on the flak onto the cryocopters. Going out some Tesla coil and a barracks here. Multiple mortar gunner IFVs. The Soviet MCV is almost down. Soviet MCV does go down. He is a Soviet player, so he has Soviet protocols, but has allied MCVs here, now under siege by peacekeepers. Mortar gunner IFVs pushing way forward. One of them loaded with a javelin troop, 2 of them loaded with peacekeepers. And Barracks just gets good hits there. Does get cleaned up, however. And we got Barracks and boot camp here, and a mortar gunner turret. A bit of everything. What does a mortar gunner turret looks like when you throw a conscript on the inside? I have no idea. Does take out the mortar gunner IFV. I'm not sure what's actually. Oh, there's what was casting a Desolator Strike. Down south, we've got the Assault Riptides and Assault Destroyer with Stingray support advancing forward. Slowly breaking down this area. Assault Destroyer needs to start gunning down this region as well. We got orange multi-gunner turrets supporting Blue's base. Yes, this is actually Blue's base. There's a lot of different colors here. Nice cryo shot there, freezing down all these forces, able to shatter. Oh, no, he's out of range. And Surgical Strike does come through. Surgical Strike is actually a very rare ability to see at this stage of the game. He may not even go in for the cryo path line. And we do have random crates on the field. Assault Destroyer does go and crush a whole bunch of wall segments. These forces are making their way up north. Something I want to just do a quick check. Yep. It was just green that was defeated. Does find some shots there onto the mortar gunner turrets. Good bombing runs coming on in. Mortar gunner turrets are being picked off by the Vindicators. He actually loaded that one up with a javelin troop, I believe. Not sure if Flak Troop does the same effect. Stingray is now being forced out. Being focused down by the hammer tanks. Let's clean them all up. And also got some dogs, or bears and a dog advancing forward. We do have a whole bunch of miscellaneous fleet right there. Peacekeepers are getting some good damage onto the ore refinery. The bears do get cleaned on up, so does a dog. Ore refinery does go on down over here. We do got reds sieging down yellow's infrastructure with Athena cannons that can bypass these walls. Gets good hits there, takes out the ore collector. And there goes the ore refinery. And there's also a cash crate there. He saw it popped up and does grab for himself some 1,000 credits. Power plant going on down. We do have the oil derrick going to focus down as well. Magenta's making its way forward, trying to deal with Orange's base. Up here, you do got Yellow's base being ripped apart as well. Orange and Magenta and Red making some good headway, but Orange starting to slowly creeping forward with this fleet. This is a very heavy fleet. He's producing a lot of units, Magenta is. He does have a lot of income, but right now, he needs some way to deal with this naval force. Got a good amount. He does have a Hydrofoil anti-aircraft and some Riptides for escort and the Assault Destroyer for protection. It's a nice, good combat force, task force. We do got now a Prism tank deployed on out, ripping apart these various Magenta forces, and the frozen units cannot get shattered by Prism cannons. Most things can shatter frozen units, but not the prism cannon on the Mirage tank. Let's finish off more and more of these sickles. One more sickle remains. We got these forces, including some Mirage tanks of its own. Vindicators getting shot out of the sky. Athena cannons getting some great hits around the infrastructure. Red's going to push on forward. One of the Guardian tanks does get infected. It's a heroic one. And he does not get focused down. The Terror Drone does find another Guardian tank there. Loose infrastructure is getting ripped apart once again. Guardian tank needs to push on forward in order to just get focused down. He's not really focusing down all too well. It does get infected there on the sickle. It could find, yeah, it does get infected there on the Athena cannon. Him not focusing, none of them getting the Athena cannon or the Terror Drone is getting so many effects. He's going to lose both of his Athena cannons to that Terror Drone. His force has pushed his way forward as well. Got a good number of Mirage tanks that can quickly focus on these structures without the aid of the Athena cannon, but now the Mirage tanks are getting focused down by the Vindicators. Now Magenta's force is coming in for a nice little flank there. Although Red, Magenta is his teammate, which does include Hammer tanks and Bullfrogs. So it's a good force between the two of them. But there's a lot of various infrastructure here for all three players on the right side. Got a good amount of infrastructure down here for orange and yellow as well. What does yellow even have? Has a crusher crane, so production is good. Battle lab deployed out as well. And vacuum imploder down to 3 minutes. Where's the vacuum imploder located at? Is it down here? Vacuum imploder is located down south, far away from their opponent's bases. It became a vertical map for team and for this game, rather than left and right. Now it's vertical. These forces are starting to fall on back. We do have these forces withdrawing as well. And it looks like the orb deck does get cleaned up by a Vindicator bombing run. Oh, there may have been satellites right here. It's hard for me to tell. Magenta signing for some more aggression. Now we've got an Iron Curtain deployed out by Yellow as well. Yellow's just going for super weapons. Dolphins, sadistic creatures, are ripping apart aircraft carrier. And that one does get frozen as well. Dolphins starting to engage in riptides. They could go out to the land in order to gun down the forces, gun them down from land, since they only can have they only have an anti-naval weapon. Though you can't force fire the ground, it's a bit of an exploit to engage the ground targets. Black cannon being deployed now. Got multiple twin blades here. And now orange is making its way down. Oh no, that's retreating. I mean, all the colors mixed up in this game. That's what airstrike, I believe this is. Yep, does net himself a good number of javelin troops there. Ooh, and this Bullfrog gets some good damage on these Vindicators, but they should be able to withdraw no problem. Twin blades advance forward, no Apollos in this region, nor a multi-gunner turret. Or at least one in range. Looks like a flak tower being deployed out by the Soviet player, but he's going to lose the airfield either way. Apollo coming forward, taking a bit of time to gun down the twin blades. Multi-gunner IV is still maintaining, avoiding its range. Over here, Red's advancing forward with some prism tanks here and Guardians. Two javelin troops advance here to support as well for anti-aircraft purposes. And here comes a Vindicator. Not much anti-aircraft they provided. Vacuum imploders down to 20 seconds. Gotta hit the infrastructure of this opponent's army. They don't really have a... getting hits on this MCV is pretty good, but the team left side doesn't really have a tight loose armor, and picks himself up a healing crate there, and that's why people don't play with random crates. I know random crates are a bit stigmatized in Kane's Wrath. Not sure about Red Alert. I think they're pretty stigmatized in Kane's Wrath because of, oh, just get a whole bunch of veterancy crates. Oh, heard the vacuum imploder. There's the vacuum imploder. Takes out the MCV. I was trying to say beforehand, random crates are stigmatized in Kane's Wrath because you get a whole bunch of veteran crates for your Redeemer or your Hexapod or your Marv, and you just got a free heroic what's it called? Ultimate unit? Uber unit? I forget exactly what it's called. Good damage there. Magenta's losing a bit of infrastructure now. Red's trying to stall them out. These are a lot of prison tanks here. One now fully heroic. And there's a good number of javelin troops here as well. This horse is getting quite veteran. We've got fair Mirage tanks here, but they're a little bit out veteran. And here comes a bottom round as well as a Cryogeddon. He's got one of the Mirage tanks there as well. And here comes Iron Curtain on his teammate's force. He did actually kill off a couple of javelin troops, but that's fine because holy Iron Curtain Mirage tanks are something you do never want to see. Because they're fully indestructible and able to rip through most structures in an instant. And there we go, team left side heads back to the game. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching and on to the next replay.